Hello and welcome to CEAZOR's Snack Sandwich. Today we're going to take a look at Divine Creatures. Now this is a client of the Creator DAO, so if you want to know more about Creator DAO you can check the link in the description and so forth. So what is this Divine Creatures? This is a new protocol launching on, I believe it's going to be multi-chain. Yeah, it does say here multi-chain, but I think they're going to start on Phantom Opera. Now, what is Divine Creatures? It's kind of a fork with some innovations. In my opinion, they don't declare this in their documentation anywhere, but to me it's very similar to Squid DAO in its early phases. But it does have a new thing that's quite innovative that I'll talk about at the end of this video that really sets it apart from everything else that's inside the market right now and makes it special enough for me to talk about it. Okay, so first thing about it is if you go to the website, first I should probably mention here, protocol that is not live yet, right? So this is not live yet. It's still in like fundraising phase and so forth, right? The treasury of treasuries. So first of all, it's going to be an OHM system where you mint this EGIS token, which is like an OHM token, right? This EGIS token here. And you can, bond for it by, it says mint here, but that means it's the same thing as bonding. If you don't know how, Olympus works, I have a video to that. And if you can also watch the video to Squid DAO. I'll put a link at the end of this video. And then you can watch those if you want to know more depth how this system works. But I think most of the people who are watching my channel know how OHM works, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. You just basically stake the EGIS token to gain the rebase from the treasury, and the bonding revenue funds the stakers, basically. Okay, so if you know, like I said, if you don't know how this works, watch those videos at the end. So what makes this one different? There are two aspects. Number one, they're going to use NFTs for the fundraising of this protocol, similar to what Squid DAO did. Squid DAO did these single every hour, and then they slowly scaled it up. So it's a little bit different, but it's quite similar in many aspects. So first of all, you will not receive the allocation if you resell your NFT or if you buy the NFT from a reseller. This is very important. So basically, people who buy the NFTs from the auction will basically get an airdrop of tokens, possibly. Now, like I said, the possibility comes from the factors below here. So there are 3 tiers of different NFTs. So sometimes there will be a god tier, a deity tier, or a demigod tier. So sometimes this NFT will come up, and it does say here auctions will last for approximately 1 hour, because if you bid in the last 3 minutes, then the time gets extended by 3 minutes, so they can't promise 1 hour auctions. But after that, first they'll set it for 1 hour, and then if people are bidding in the end, it might get extended by certain, like indefinitely, but by a few minutes depending on how much. So these different tier gods will start at different levels, at different costs, right? And then here are the number of those NFTs that they have that will go out within, I guess, indefinitely, because this is a lot more than 1 week of hours, I would think. And then purchasable allocation. So if you buy a god tier, then you get an allocation of this much worth of the EGIS token, and then this much, and then this much. Okay. However, there's also a lottery. Now, it says you randomly select 80% of the NFTs for the lottery. So they're going to, and then they're going to, those NFTs are going to be granted by the lottery a status of these kinds of things. So maybe you have a deity and you get a gold deity, or maybe you have a god tier and you get a wood god tier. So you get the idea. So what does this lottery give you? Basically, if you're lucky enough to get in gold, then your allocation is airdropped. Okay. If you get a silver, then you get a 50% increase of your allocation, and then 25% is, and then you can still buy EGIS pre-sale allocation if you get wood. So it increases the amount that you're able to buy the EGIS token early. Okay, so you buy the NFT, and it's a ticket to the pre-sale of the EGIS token, basically. Okay, so that's how this NFT is working. I think it's interesting. anyhow, it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to participate in this and so forth. Now, this is the part that sets this protocol apart that I find to be interesting and worth talking about in depth. So they have this idea of they're going to build this DEX, this divine DEX they call it, where the DEX is filled with all of these other treasury tokens. So if you look here, they have MEMO, which is like time, staked time, right? They have GOHM, they have Hector token, Exodus. So these tokens are going to be bondable in the system eventually. So they will bond for these, and they will get these tokens, and then they will fund this DEX, right, where you can swap between these tokens with like hopefully low slippage, because it will be deep and so forth, and you can just swap directly between these two tokens. But why would you want to do that? Because it says here that they're going to build a clock that kind of shows you, when the rebase is going to happen between these. So if you had, like, say $1,000 and you bought EGIS token, then you would get like your rebase every 8 hours. So the rebase is not the same at the same time for all of these tokens. So they're hoping to build this clock where you can then, like, I have my $1,000 in here, I get my rebase, and then I sell it just before this rebase, and I get this rebase, and then I swap it for this just before this rebase, and then I swap it for this just before this. Now they're going to do it manually at first. It talks about, we got to do it manually at first, because then people can select, I don't want exposure to this. I think I just don't want to deal with this one. So then I can skip this and swap from here straight to there, right? Now there are going to be some fees here on this swapping pool, right? Where are the fees here? The fees from this swapping will go to the Divine Creatures DAO treasury as revenue. Now, it doesn't completely explain what if this is the treasury of the EGIS token or the treasury of just simply the DAO. But if it is the treasury of the EGIS token, then that means the the fees from these swaps, these rebase swaps, will help fund the rebasing of this EGIS token, which is interesting, right? They're going to make sure that the fees do not supersede the rebasing rewards, so that it's, of course, profitable. And then they do talk about in the future that they will make this an automated system where you just supply some money, maybe you just zap in at any point in the cycle into some sort of vault, and the vault will just constantly rebase, like constantly swap for this, and then it'll get its rebase, swap, rebase, and so forth. Okay, so that's pretty much it. It's just a quick little overview video. You can come and check out a lot more based on this deck. I think that at first their bonding mechanisms are going to be just LPs, so the EGIS and Phantom and the EGIS meme, and then afterwards they're going to start hoarding up some MEMO, and then hoarding up some GOHM, and then maybe governance will decide like which other treasury reserve assets, like which other rebasing tokens are going to follow in the line. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.